Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is April, and if you've been watching my channel for a little bit now, this video comes as no surprise to you. Today we are getting the rest of my plants that are in soil out of soil, and the method that I'm going to be using is by propagation. I think I have about 5 to 8 plants that are still in soil. If you're interested in seeing me get the rest of my plants out of soil, propagated, and into another substrate in the near future, then just keep watching. Starting with my ZZ Raven. If you look in the pot, I'm not sure if you can see, but the bulbs are so dried up, which is terrible. We will be using my Clone X gel, my rooting hormone that I usually use in every propagation video. I have my deadly shears back, along with some safer ones. I'm just gonna start off by sanitizing my shears, because I don't know what I've been cutting around the house with those scissors, honestly. This is the jar that I'm going to be using to propagate some of my ZZ stalks. Just gonna fill it up with water. I brought my jug in here today. Oop, I forgot this pot has a hole in it. I don't wanna go past where that hole is. This used to be one of my leca jars. But I was like, why can't I use it for propagation? Just don't go past the water line. I'm so excited to finally be propagating this plant because every day I walk by it and I see it literally dying. It's very stressful. Where do we want to cut first? Some of these stalks are literally dead, but this one's not, so let's start with you. Ew. I think I should cut a little bit higher up because it is pretty long. And when I took those cuttings in my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma video and they were a little bit slimy, like this one kind of is, a lot of those died, if I'm being honest. So I'm just gonna cut a little higher up. So it's a little bit shorter now. Has about that many leaves on it. And I'm just gonna dip it into this rooting hormone. I'm not gonna dip it into the jar anymore because I think I used too much rooting hormone in my Rhaphidophora propagation video, and that's probably why they died. But I just put that much on the end, and I'm going to stick her into the jar, like so. Just gonna repeat that all around until we have a nice full cup of ZZ Raven plant. Ew, I don't know if there's bugs on it. I might have to go rinse these cuttings off after this video because they're so dusty. Can you see the dust? I'm not sure if you can see the dust, but these are so dusty. I'm like, who's not dead? This doesn't look, oh, it came right off. I didn't even cut it. That's so disgusting. We will attempt to propagate it, but we might not get too far with that one. Ew, these are just coming out. I'm not gonna propagate the ones that are just coming out because they rotted. I'm scared. Ew. Here's a cute black one. How pretty. I'm so happy I'm done. She's going to live. She is going to live. I did take a smaller jar for the shorter cuttings because they were just falling to the bottom of the taller jar. But ZZ Raven do take quite a long time to root, so I will have to be patient with these. These ones are the tall ones from my ZZ Raven that I took. Very pretty. I'm definitely gonna rinse these off later. And this is my pot of ZZ Raven that I am going to dump, but I'm gonna keep the pot because this pot is so freaking cute. Next, if you couldn't tell already, this is my regular ZZ Zemifolia. This is my regular ZZ plant that is clearly dying. So I definitely want to propagate this. I'm a little scared to have this in my room because I recently watered it, so I'm scared there's fungus gnats in here. But it looks like we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stalks to cut, so it shouldn't be too scary. Yeah! That's the first cutting. That's diatomaceous earth at the bottom. Going to stick him right in the same jar that the ZZ Ravens are in. Oh my god, stop. Getting everywhere, please. Look, no more ZZ in that pot. Now I have 2 really full jars of ZZ. These are the jars. And this is how many long stalks I have and little stalks that I have. I'm very excited for these. I took these cuttings from my little Maranta, and we're just gonna dip them in some rooting hormone. They do have a little node at the end, that little swollen node right there. Doop. I'm gonna take this one and cut this leaf off, or it was gonna be in the water. A little bit of rooting hormone. And right in here he goes. Just looking to see if they have a little node before I dip them. This little piece. Oh, that guy came off by itself. Little dip, little drip. Now you got the chills. Yes. I think that's enough water for now. I just really don't want them to rot. That's why I'm giving them all such little water. What do we want to propagate next? We have my dapsis and my Cebu blue potos. I think the dapsis should be next because wait till you guys get a load of this. If you've really been watching my channel since April, you know that I staked this plant up in one of my earlier videos, which was a task. And I don't really know what I'm gonna do with these moss poles. But for now, we're getting this plant out of dirt. There's so many ties on this plant, oh my God. Nope, no fungus gnats in my room. I'm getting this out of here right now. No fungus gnats in my room. That's a rule. I'm just gonna go take those cuttings and I'll be right back.
One eternity later.
I'm back. And that's the #1 reason why I'm getting my plants out of soil is because fungus gnats. I can't deal with them anymore. They end up everywhere. Once you have like an infestation, they're literally on everything that is wet. So I just can't deal with that anymore. This is it for the cuttings. So I hate cutting perfect leaves off. I guess it only needs one node really, right? Oh my God, this is very long though. Should I propagate this whole thing? So I'll make sure there's one leaf cut off so that there's a node at the end. Stick it in some rooting hormone and into a jar. It doesn't have water in it yet, but this is the jar that it's gonna be going into. And repeat the process. Should I propagate this though? Why not? If it survives, it survives. If it dies, like I'm not propagating anything that looks like this, that has no leaves on it. That can get tossed. I keep that much. And we have this cutting right here. I'm gonna cut off the yellow leaf. We have this pretty little cutting. I think I might just leave it as, oh, I can't leave it as is. Because the node, this is a weird one. There's no node on this long piece. So we can cut that off right away. But there was a node at the intersection. So I'm just gonna dip that into rooting hormone and stick it in here as well. This one kind of has like the same thing. I'm just gonna cut those ends off. Like that. Dip it in some rooting hormone. And these are all my dapsis or dapsis cuttings that I took from that plant. I cannot wait to see these have roots and transfer them to a different medium. It's not leca. Do I really want to propagate my Cebu blue potos? Cebu blue potos, Cebu blue potos, Cebu blue potos. I think I'm gonna actually go cut the cuttings off of my Cebu blue potos since you guys have seen it before, and I also watered that recently, so it probably has fungus gnats in it that I'm not trying to introduce into my bedroom. So I'll be right back again.
2 seconds later.
Okay, I'm back again. I honestly was not brave enough to take on the whole plant, so I just took all of these cuttings. I filled them up quite a lot since the cuttings tend to get smaller. I kind of want to do longer cuttings though because they might look more aesthetically pleasing. What kind of cutting is this? Let's not start with that cutting. Why do they all look like that? Oh, that's such a long, big leaf though. I don't want to cut this off, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to cut that off. Should I cut it off? Should I cut it off? I'm cutting it off. Oh, I'm sad. I'm gonna actually cut this one off too. So now the nodes are more exposed. Make sure those nodes are touching the water like I did. This is what I meant by the longer cuttings. It just looks more aesthetically pleasing, and I know the prop station is gonna look so cute after. I do have a more in-depth video on propagating Cebu blue potos. I'll link that below if you're interested. So my prop station is looking like this now. It's back to being filled with Cebu blue potos, which I'm very excited about because the plants that I recently potted up in my previous video, they look so good. I did have to repot the golden potos because that hole with the spackle never dried, literally never dried. So I went to go water it and just fell right through, spackle and all. It was disgusting. So I switched her into a clear vessel, gave her some water, and she seems to be doing good. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that already. So we actually propagated 5 plants today, and I'm really excited. The most slowest growing one is going to be the ZZ plants, but I'm excited to have them in a new medium eventually. But that does bring me to the end of today's video. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow my Mother of Plants Instagram, and until my next video, bye. I just fucking spilled water everywhere. Okay,